Welcome to What's Your I Can Conversations, the podcast that breathes life into the pages of What's Your I Can. Realize your I Can in purpose, business, and family. I am your host, Kristy Angelee, National Single Mom speaker, businesswoman, writer, and media personality. And I am delighted to have you join us on this journey. Get ready because we're amplifying the voices of single moms, celebrate their achievements, challenge stereotypes, raise awareness, and more. Through these conversations, we aim to foster a deeper connection with God, a vital element as we collectively reimagine our future together. Today, I am thrilled to introduce to you to our guest, the incredible Ellie. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Miss Ellie, would you introduce yourself for us on this Candid Single Moms Conversations type of ordeal day?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I look forward to chatting with you. So my name is Ellie. I am a single mom of two little girls. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. And both of my girls struggle with very unique health challenges that are completely different from one another and very significant in terms of our everyday life. Other than that, I am a licensed massage therapist as of a year ago, and I am a Chinese medicine student as well.
Okay, so you talked on some things that I know that all single mothers are wanting to know, and I want to just jump right into that already because you talking about you have two girls with health challenges. You're a single mom. You're in school, or you're in school.
Yes.
You are a licensed therapist, and trying to find sense of imbalance in all of this. How Tell us what that is like, children or two girls with health challenges and being a single mom.
It has its challenges for sure. And my way of getting through those challenges and moving forward with their day, with my day, with our lives is taking things in small pieces. Day by day, sometimes it's hour by hour, sometimes it's minute by minute. And the easiest way to do that I've found is to find gratitude in things. So my 7-year-old, she is a forever baby. She is cognitively and in every way developmentally about 6 months old. So it's sort of like I've had a 6-month-old for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
There are huge challenges that come with that. But there's also great blessings that come with that. So I get to have a cuddly little baby every single day when other moms with 7-year-olds haven't had that for the last 6 years. So if I pick and choose things like that to be grateful for, it makes things, puts things in perspective, I guess.
So how does that look like? Because you say you have a daughter as well that has health issues. And so having to teach how to love and show kindness towards one another and their differences, even though you say your 7-year-old has, cognitive, she's more so 6 months than 7, right? And so how does that look? How does love look? How does being there for one another, how does that work in your home?
So I think
because we can easily, we can easily kind of, have our biases in our own home, have our, favorites in our own home, especially when we're faced with those type of challenges. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, share that.
My 10-year-old has an immune deficiency since birth. And so when she was born, no one knew anything about it. Doctors didn't know what to expect. I was told they didn't know if she would live to be a year, let alone 5 years. And I thought it was the worst thing in the world. Fast forward 3 years, my now 7-year-old was born. And then I thought that was the worst thing in the world because it was obvious very early on that she likely would not develop into an adult cognitively. And I lived my life for 3 years after that in denial, just going through the motions of life, not finding joy in our experiences. And what woke me up was the death of my father. It woke me up to put things in perspective, right? I had to shift the way that I look at things, whereas before that, I had been limiting all of the experiences my children could have. I was limiting all of the experiences we could have together. I had this mindset of life is over. It's only going to be this. But it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. So shifting my focus and my perspective opened up this whole new world for my girls. So it's the three of us, and we are a unit. We go everywhere together. We do everything together. My 10-year-old and my 7-year-old are best friends. They have a bond and love like I've never seen.
That's amazing. I love that because not only, you are helping them to, find the beauty in each other, right? Because then you look at the outside world, and if they're not protecting one another, then they are so, vulnerable to the outside world, to the stereotypes. One, you're dealing with the stereotype already, of being a single mom. And now you're a single mom with 2 children who are heavily dependent upon you, right? And then, I'm having to work. I heard that you said that you are a licensed therapist. You're practicing Chinese medicine. Okay, so let's talk about that. How do you balance the demands of being a single parent with your personal life and career? And let's give us a little bit of what Chinese medicine is all about. We talked about it a little bit from my perspective of what I've heard, but I want to dig a little bit into that as well.
So for me, I'm a licensed massage therapist, and I obtained my license just over a year ago. And I found that I loved learning about the body so much. So the natural next step was to pursue Chinese medicine. But all of this ties back into my children because they require a lot of care medically. But throughout their entire lives, I've taken a very, very holistic approach to their healthcare. And because of that, I believe it's because of that. They are both in much different places now than I was told to expect when each of them were tiny babies. They're doing great. So it was sort of a natural progression to come into Chinese medicine. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's different than anything we've ever learned in terms of Western medicine. It is acupuncture, it is herbs, but it is also so much more. It's really a holism approach to health. And I love that. So
I'm kind of interested. Go ahead. As far as
in terms of balance, my girls go everywhere with me. In terms of social life, we like to go see live music. We like to go hiking on trails. My youngest, she doesn't walk, so we got an off-roading medical stroller, so we can go hiking on trails. It comes back to, switching my mindset from we can't do these things to we can do whatever we want to do. So my 7-year-old has been adaptive rock climbing. A few weeks ago, we went adaptive kayaking. We do all the normal things that normal families do. We just do them in an adaptive way. But yeah, so live music around Austin is one of our favorite go-tos on weekends for socializing.
I absolutely love the mind shift and the switch because so many will shut down and they look at all the I can'ts. I can't do this because my children are like this. I can't do this because I'm a single mom and I'm limited resource. You've gone to college or therapy, massage school, you've gotten your license, you're studying Chinese medicine, you're taking care of your two children, you're finding what works for you all. You are this resilient mom, right? You are understanding your I can in the face of all of the adversities, all the challenges, all of the hurdles that you have been faced with, and you're finding the joys. You're finding how to overcome, these situations that's really meant to make you, if you're looking at it, to make you just give up. It's meant to make you feel like, okay, this is too much. I don't have the support. I don't have the, extra funds. Everything that circulates around being a single mother. That is, I was talking earlier today on my webinar I did unlock abundance, overcoming the seven common setbacks. And I talked about this stereotype cloud that single moms it's automatically over single moms. Once you become a single mom, then boom, there's your cloud. You have this doom cloud. And trying to break free is like every time you run, that cloud is following you, but it's in the air because people are misinformed. It's misinformed, preconceived ideas. You heard your big mama said, or their big mama said, or it's just something that has been traveling years and years and years, and no one really stopped to think about, is this true? I'm reminded of the story of a woman who was baking a ham, and so she was getting ready to bake a ham, and her husband was in the kitchen with her, and she cut off the ends of the ham, and so he was like, "Why do you cut off the ends of the ham?" She was like, "Well, I don't know. It's something that my mom done." And so he was like, well, she got in her mind that she was going to call her mother to see why she cut off the ends of the ham. And so she said, well, I don't know. It's something that your grandmother did. And so she ended up calling her grandmother to ask and see about why do you cut off the ends of the ham? She was like, well, my pan was too small. So in order for the ham to fit, she cut off the ends of the ham in order for the ham to fit. And so now throughout generations, they just thought it was the thing to do, to cut off the ends of the ham, no matter how big the pan was, no matter how, she just thought the normal thing. So it was a learned behavior without addressing, really talking about it, without really saying, why is it that, this is in the air, being a single mom with children that is heavily dependent upon you. Why can't we do these things? Well, because you're a single mom, and you can't do these because you don't have the money. It's a learned thing. It's programmed that you don't have the money. When reality is, you have been given everything that you need. All you have to do is, like you said, find the right mindset. Find ways, find what works for me in my circumstances. I loved how you said adaptive, activities to adapt to your circumstance, adapt to your situation, not in the way of saying, this is my situation, I'm adapting to it by not doing nothing at all, because life has given me lemons, and these are the cards I'm going to play, right? No, you find out what works. I know my children are like this, but I do know that there's still life. There's still life outside of, so I love that. Thank you so much for sharing and how you are using Chinese medicine, a holistic approach. I'm a holistic type of person myself. So I really enjoy, and those that are listening in who's trying to figure out how to do life with your children who may have, a learning, a different way of learning, adaptive, entertainment and experiences that's out there. And if you don't find it, you create it. You create what you're in need of, instead of just sitting back and saying, oh, there's nothing for us. You create what is needed for your children, and not only yours, you are having something that the community somebody else may be needing the same exact type of, resources and a different way of thinking. So you have given us so much goodness already, like so much practical tips, right? Strategies to do, instead of allowing your situation to drown you out. And I know it's still overwhelming. It can still be challenging, but having, like you said, the right mindset is key.
Absolutely. Yes.
Having the right mindset is key. If you could go back and tell your younger you one thing that you would do differently, what would that be?
Oh boy. I think the thing that I would tell my younger self is to have a plan. The plan may change. You may go on a completely different path, but have a plan. Start somewhere, right? Because not starting at all is a for sure way to fail. Had I had a plan, I wouldn't be 42 and pursuing a doctorate in Chinese medicine, which, is taking a while. Have a plan, just get started. And if it changes midway, that's okay. But there has to be some forward motion.
So having a plan is key. And that's something else I talked about earlier too. In the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2, it talks about writing your vision. and making it plain so that, when you're reading it, your vision will start running. It will start, opening doors and opportunities earlier. As you stated at 42, you could have had some things done prior before 42, but at 42, you're still making it happen. Just because you're starting, some would say later in the game, but sometimes you may feel like this may be your now season. This is maybe your now time because of all the other situation that has occurred that maybe have, caused you to do things take a different route, right? Take a different approach to it. And now you're more, settled. You're more sure. You're more confident in going in versus when you were younger. Then, you may not have stuck it through if you were younger. If you're younger, you would have, so what do you think? Do you think that your younger you would have stuck through what you're doing now, or would it been like, or are you that person that, okay, I know that if I put my mind to this, this is what I'm going to do, regardless of my, age or.
So I do think that everything happens in divine timing. And I say that because my younger self never planned on having children, never planned on, having this kind of life or having roots anywhere. My younger self planned to run off to the Peace Corps and do, great things around the world. And that didn't happen. But I think that everything happens in divine timing. And had I pursued this path 20 years ago, I don't think that it would have worked. But if I had a plan 20 years ago and I put my all into that plan and it changed into a different plan, there still would have been, knowledge and experience acquired from that. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Whatever the plan is, it may work as planned or it may change, and that's okay. But it's all valuable experiences for whatever's to come in the future.
Oh, I like that. At least if the plan changes, you will have gained the knowledge, the wisdom, and the experience from a plan that you did have in place.
Absolutely.
Wow, that is good. That is really good. That's an important thing of having a plan. And some people don't want to have plans because, something may change, and why have a plan? Just live life as it goes. No, you can still learn from the plans that didn't go right or didn't go that way. Even if it was right, it just you detoured on a different path or whatever, because maybe God sent you on a different way, but you still had a plan, and it's okay, right? It's perfectly fine to deviate from a plan. That doesn't mean that it didn't work. It's just, I see your plan. I understand this, but I have something. I want you to not just be in the Peace Corps, but I want you to do medicine. Chinese medicine. I want you to do it this way because I know the type of mom that I'm getting ready to have you to become. I know the children that I'm going to allow you to bear. I'm going to allow you to love on, and I need you to be and I need you to go this direction in order to get you here so that you can be this holistic, massage therapist, and bring that type of natural healing and medicine into your community, because I hear there are mothers that are looking for a holistic approach. Yeah, so you're positioned just right. So I thank you for that. That is really, really, if we take time out to really just look at the plans that we did have, and see, okay, it's still a plan. It looks a little different, but it's still in alignment with who I am altogether. So can you say that where you are now, in school or out of school, or you're in school for Chinese medicine, is still in alignment as if you would have went to the Peace Corps or helping others, is that still?
Yeah, my vision has changed a little bit, but before having kids, I spent 10 years working in homeless shelters and with homeless populations, and that was incredibly rewarding. My life now is focused on different goals, which is raising my children to be happy, healthy humans, but also I want to bring something to the community and to others that may not have access or may not have the means to have access to this kind of healthcare. And so, yeah, I feel like it's changed a little bit, but still like the same drive for it, I guess.
Mhm. Right. So can you share some of the most rewarding aspects of being a single mom? And I know you talked about it earlier, like your adaptive entertainments and all, but what else? What else?
Gosh, what isn't rewarding? I think being able to have those, just those quiet moments where it's just my two girls and I, you know,
Mm-hmm.
being able to do things that I did as a child with my mom and siblings, I can do those with my kids now. So, we're approaching the holiday season. Each year on the holiday season, we go look at holiday lights. My 10-year-old makes, 10 meals, and she gets to hand them out to people that are less fortunate in the community. Doing things like that, I think, is so rewarding for me as a parent. I get to teach them what really matters. The other part of that is kind of what we were talking about earlier. There are stereotypes, right? Especially with my youngest daughter. So being able to show my 10-year-old that those don't stop us, those don't make or break anything in our lives. So, we go to live music venues, we attend, all kinds of community events. And there are sometimes stares. Oftentimes adults are far worse than children with that, but that gives us an opportunity to say, do you have some questions? Would you like to meet my daughter? And then I can answer questions. This is what her condition is. And, as you can see, she's loving the music that you're here to listen to. And so are we. She's just like everyone else. She has favorite things. She has likes, dislikes, all of that, just like everyone else. So, I find that really rewarding. Just being able to like share that with our community.
I love it because when you're in an atmosphere like that, people are just uninformed. And that's it's nothing against you, the individual. It's just that they don't know. And instead of knowing what questions to ask, they may feel embarrassed. They may not want to ask because they may feel like they're stepping on over. There's a lot of reasons why people may, just give a stare, or, you could feel that uneasiness in the atmosphere. But like you stated, it gives you that opportunity to, break that ice. Hey, would you like to, and share and give them a different opinion and thought, and, like, oh, well, I didn't know that. And that gives them something, to talk about and share about, in a positive way. So I appreciate that. Is a rewarding, aspect of being a single mom. You get to inform people who are misinformed.
Yeah.
You get to inform them in a healthy way. What are some of the biggest, and I know I don't even know how to ask this question because I already hear your biggest challenges, but I'm going to ask this because maybe there's something else still. What are some of the biggest challenges you face as a single mother, and how have you overcome them?
So one of the biggest challenges, given my children's unique health challenges, is dealing with Medicaid, the healthcare system. It is a constant chore for me. Basic things that need to be covered by insurance are denied. And then, that requires many phone calls and filing complaints and reaching out to state representatives. It's very time consuming. In addition to that, because of my daughter's medical needs, she requires around the clock care. And that becomes a challenge for financial reasons. Childcare, is a barrier. But my daughter is fortunate enough to have a personal care attendant. It looks really great on paper in the state. But when it's only paying $10 an hour, it's really difficult to find someone to be able to provide good care for her when I'm not in the room. So that's been a huge challenge. Beyond that, like financially, it's certainly a challenge. But also just having having support, right? We all need a good support system. And my family is in Minnesota, and I have, a couple of friends here in Austin. They all have their own things going on. And so I can't expect them to be there for me constantly, right? We all have our own lives. And so having a good support system in place, I think, is so important. And if someone would have told me that 10 years ago before I had kids, I don't know if that would have changed anything, but it would have at least had me thinking about what would that look like? What do I need to do to work towards a support system? So yeah, that's the challenge.
Wow. And even with that plan, you wouldn't have known about the challenges your children will be facing as far as their health, but at least you will have a plan in place already, right? And so as we was talking about earlier on, like, even if the plan does deviate, it changes, because now, I had a plan for this, but I didn't have a plan for that. But you know how to plan. That is the wisdom and the nuggets in making a plan. So, okay, well, I just need to tweak some things in my plan to now, as you stated earlier, to adjust, adapt to where you are now in life, versus not knowing how to put a plan together at all.
Sure.
I'm just so clueless. I'm so absent-minded of how to put a plan together, because I've never had to put one together. I never took time to put one together. So that's the power in planning, right? So that's amazing. And I absolutely love that you came on and you're sharing your story. I really appreciate you. How do you handle, if this is applicable, how do you handle co-parenting or communicating with your child's other parent or your children's other parent?
So their other parent is very minimally involved. And I have come to a point where you have to accept that someone may not be able to, how can I say this? You need to meet someone where they're at. If they're giving what they can give in terms of co-parenting, and that's all they can give, and that's a sliver of what it needs to be, sometimes you just have to accept that, and you have to be okay with it, and you just have to move forward. If there's a few hours of time that is spent, together with the children, and there's bonding, and that's, as far as it goes, then that's as far as it goes. And you just move forward, So I guess, yeah, that's how that's.
Yeah. So meeting them where they are, understanding. I always use this biblical verse, talking on knowing those that labor among you. So when you have an understanding of the person that you are, or the people that's among you that you're dealing with, you have the upper hand. And you won't be the victim. You'll become the victor, because now you understand this person, you understand where they are, and it's like, okay, well, they have issues that they need to work out. It has nothing against me now as a mom and my capabilities and me feeling worthy, or me feeling as if, all of these things about yourself, I feel like they would change once you have a bird's eye view of the people that is in your circumference, and how they operate, and at what capacity. What do they have to offer, at this point in time? What growth do they need? And then it helps you to respond and communicate and interact, and also with your children in the right way, to let them know if they ever ask for the other parent or A, B, and C. And you could just, help them grow through these growth pains, because it can be painful still, but letting them grow in a way that is allowing them to feel it, but also learning how to heal, learning how to, make these necessary adjustments in their life, and to, this is that person. I don't hate them, and I don't dislike. That's where they are, and I still have love for these people. I still have love for them. So I think that's a beautiful thing that you shared, because that's going to help our listeners knowing how to navigate these challenges in their life, relationship challenges, co-parenting challenges, and knowing that, if you know where they are, then it takes a lot of weight and a lot of pressure off of you, instead of knowing where they are and you're still attacking. You're still like Come on, it should help you have a better plan better, as you would state, and plan better, plan your approach better, plan how to communicate with them better, know what to share with them, know what not to share with them, know how to have them involved, and know how not to have them involved. You know how to engage. That's beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much. So much. Would you do you have any last words you would like to leave with our audience on today?
Yes, I think the one thing that I want to say that has changed my life, that has helped me to become a better mom, a better woman, a better human, is find your joy. We all have different details. My life is no more difficult than yours, than any of the listeners. We all have different details. We all have challenges. We all have struggles. Find the joy in the everyday moments. That's what really matters. It's what we're here for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. That is beautiful. Thank you for joining us today on What's Your I Can Conversations. We hope you found this episode insightful and engaging. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a feedback comments. Your feedback means the world to us and helps others discover our show. Don't forget to visit my website, Linktree /Kristy Angelee for more resources and to stay updated on our latest episodes. Make sure you have clicked that notification bell as well. And as always, if you have a topic you like us to explore or a guest you like to hear from, feel free to reach out to us on social media or by leaving a comment below. Until next time, remember that you can find your joy. Take care and stay tuned for more every Friday.